Okay, morning students. How are you? I think you are fine and enjoying your online classes. So, today I'm with the next video. That is, we'll continue the same chapter, that is force and motion. So, in the previous chapter, we have discussed about the different kinds of force and also different kinds of motion. So, regarding the force and motion, regarding the force and motion, some of the other terms that you have to study in class 7. Today we'll go on discussing on those topics. So first we'll discuss on scalar and vector quantity. Scalar and vector quantity. So in class 6, I think you have discussed, learned OPT math. So in OPT, when you are learning vector, like AB vector, simply we used to give arrow. Yes or no? We used to give arrow. The reason to give arrow, that means that shows the direction. So on that note, on that basis, scalar and vector quantity can be classified. So what is scalar quantity? The quantity which have only magnitude. Only magnitude, that means it has certain value but not direction. It does not have any direction. Okay, those kind of quantity, they are called scalar quantity. Once again I am repeating, the quantity which have only magnitude but no direction is called scalar quantity. But the quantity which have both magnitude and as well as it has also the direction, that is called vector quantity. So there is one figure or the chart you can see on the screen. Physical quantity, they are classified into two types. If you remember, we have discussed about the physical quantity, the quantity which can be measured. They are called physical quantity. In the first chapter, measurement, we have discussed about that. So physical quantity are the quantity which can be measured, and they are further classified into two types, that is scalar quantity and vector quantity. So scalar quantity, they have only magnitude and direction. It has only magnitude but no direction. So already I have mentioned in the definition above, the quantity which have only magnitude but no direction, it has only magnitude but no direction, is called scalar quantity. But the quantity which have both magnitude and direction, that is called vector quantity. So in this way we can identify whether the quantity is scalar or vector. Like some of the example are there: length, mass, time, okay, electric current, temperature. So these are scalar quantity. The reason is it has only magnitude, it has only value. So today, by the way, it's very hot. That means if I measure the temperature, it might be 40 degrees Celsius or 35 degrees Celsius. It does not have any direction, it has only magnitude, it has only value. So these kinds of quantity are called scalar quantity. That means the quantity which have only magnitude, like length 2 meter, mass 5 kg, time 20 seconds, 1 day, 1 year, only value. But vector quantity, it has both magnitude as well as it has also direction. Like displacement, that means distance travel in a straight line. It has direction, whether the distance is traveling whether east, west, north, south. Why? Because for the straight line there is certain direction. So in the same way, velocity, force, acceleration, momentum, weight, all these have direction. So these are some of the example of vector quantity. So I think you understood about the scalar quantity and vector quantity. Quantity which have only magnitude but no direction, they are called scalar quantity. But the quantity which have both magnitude and direction are called vector quantity. Next, talking about distance and displacement. Okay, distance and displacement both represents the length, but there is certain difference between distance and displacement. Distance means length between any 2 point. Length between any 2 point, that is called distance. Like in the figure you can see, I am discussing about the length from with any 2 point, that is point A point B. Now going from there in this way, that is also distance between any two point, the length between any two point, and going from A to B in this way, that is also length between any two point. But what is the difference? Okay, while going in the first condition, the direction is not fixed. The direction is not fixed, it goes unchanging. Okay, so distance is the length between two points in any direction. The direction is not fixed. But displacement is the length between any two points in a straight line, that means in a fixed direction. Okay, if you consider the map, east west, north and south. Now direction is fixed. From A point to B point, it is going in certain direction, that is northeast, almost east. So the difference between distance and displacement, that is distance means the length between any two point, but displacement is the length between, that is also the length between two points, but in a straight line, that means in a fixed direction. So that is the difference between length and distance and displacement. Hope you understood the difference between distance and displacement, and how to identify the distance and displacements. Next, now we'll discuss about the speed and velocity. Speed and velocity. Now speed, the distance travel per unit time. For example, you can see in the figure there is two cars. Okay, both are moving, but the difference is, okay, one, that means car first, it is moving in different direction, but the second one, that is moving in same direction. So there is written also, okay, speed is simply how fast you are traveling. Speed means simply we can say how fast you are traveling. If the speed is 90 km per hour, you are very fast. If 40, slow. But velocity is the speed in a given direction, certain direction. So like distance and displacement, speed and velocity are also different terms. So we can define speed, the distance travel per unit time, but velocity, the displacement per unit time. That is the difference. For the speed, there is the distance travel. Distance means any direction. But for the velocity, there is displacement per unit time. So that is the difference between speed and velocity. And talking about scalar and vector quantity. Okay, speed is scalar quantity, velocity is vector quantity. So I think you understood the difference between speed and velocity also. Okay, in the distance and displacement also. In distance and displacement also, distance is scalar quantity, displacement is vector quantity. Okay, the reason is distance, it does not have direction, it has only magnitude, but displacement, it has both magnitude and direction. Okay, some of the difference between speed and velocity. The distance travel per unit time, that is speed, but velocity, the displacement per unit time. Speed equals to distance by time. Okay, but velocity, that is displacement by time. Speed is scalar quantity. The reason why it is scalar quantity, why? Because distance is scalar quantity, but velocity, that is vector quantity. The reason is displacement is vector quantity. I think students, you understood the difference between scalar quantity and vector quantities, also about the distance, displacement, also about the speed and velocity. So for today class, okay, only this much for today. With the next video, I'll come tomorrow with the next video, and almost we are completing the next chapter, that is force and motion, one important topic regarding the acceleration. Okay, we'll discuss in the next class. So there are some of the work I hope you are doing the work. So I'll once read the question. Some of the questions are there. Define scalar and vector quantity. Define displacement and distance and displacement. Define speed and velocity. Is it scalar or vector quantity? I have given some of the questions. Okay, don't be confused. Okay, I have given some of the question, that is to identify whether it is vector or scalar quantity with the reason. Is it scalar or vector quantity? Question number 1, the football player running 10 miles an hour towards the end zone, whether that is scalar or vector quantity. If it is scalar, why? If it is vector, why? 2 number, the volume of a box on the west side of the building is 14 cubic feet. And 3 number, the temperature of a room is 15 degrees Celsius. And the 4 number, that is the velocity of a car is 40 meter per second. So in these 4 questions, you have to identify whether it is a scalar or vector. If it is vector, you should give the reason. If it is scalar, you should also give the reason. What do you think? So these are some of the work. Hope you are doing your work. And if any feedback is there, so you have the question answer portal. You can question there regarding the different subject what you are facing problem. So students, with the next video I'll meet you tomorrow. Till then, goodbye.